Terry Kath. Oh, God, Lord. All right, so here's the deal. Chicago was the one band that almost made those additional 10 bands that I added to the 10 bands, my original 10 bands. All right. And it's on the power of the playing of Terry Kath, one of rock's finest guitarists, bullet fast, soul, the whole thing. That man had it. And as long as he was in Chicago, if it wasn't for Terry Kath, see, I had heard the hit Spinning Wheels, and, the brass bands were starting to come in. And the last time I ever liked a brass band was the Tijuana band, Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. And I was like 11 or 12 when a lot of their hits were first coming out. So, brass wasn't going to be my thing. Rock and roll and brass, that's almost like you put peanut butter in my chocolate. For me, you just don't do that until 25 or 6 to 4 came out, if I've got that title right. And I heard that, oh my God, I was sold on that band. And that man, it was like you'd watch him play. What universe was he in? It's like there was no acting. That this was not showmanship. This is him doing his thing, man. He was often creating it right there. And of course, the rest of the band would do so, pretty much themselves. There was a bit of a jam feel to early Chicago. So you get that feel like, we're just making it up on the spot, but at the same time, they have these arrangements for the horns, and they were so tight, and I absolutely love that band, and it's sad to hear that the 3 remaining members are saying that they're going to okay a totally fake Chicago to tour under the Chicago name. And many of you know what I feel about that. All right. You just can't do that in my head. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And along with it, AI and all the bullshit coming through with AI and music, something's got to change. Paul McCartney just recently made some statements because he's pissed off. He's heard songs. What was the song he quoted it as? I'm not going to think of it. Well-known hit. And he said, I never sang it. But there's an AI version of him singing it. It's theft. It's dishonest. It's giving the human condition over to a machine. I mean, it's giving over human creativity over to something man-made, artificial. Are we really, as a society, willing to go that route, folks? Is that what we want? Is that what we're looking forward to now? That we'll be babysat by machines? Everything we watch, pretty soon, they won't even have to have actors. They'll have the, AI actors up there. They already have had these things. But, to the point where one day, no, there's no point. Humans are so unreliable that they miss set calls. They'll come up with some stupid ass reason as to why AI as a tool is fine. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. When the Beatles used some of Peter Jackson's new technology to isolate instruments that were originally on a 4-track and then spread those 32 instruments onto, or whatever, 48 instruments, they had the ability to go in and listen to the orchestra on a particular song and take each violin, separate, give it its own track, the whole thing, right? And then remix it. I think that's wonderful. That's AI as a slave. You sit down and you go, I want these humanly created tracks separated. I don't want your AI created tracks ever.